Yeah, that's my bad. I've been talking this whole time. You guys didn't hear anything. Let's try this again. If you're watching now or in the future, hit that like and subscribe. If you like special effects, makeup, mold making, horror movies, and bad opinions, it helps me a ton. Sorry about that. I was also mentioning, funny guy, that I saw that you have a little picture for your icon now. I was just trying to look something up. I'm not having the best luck finding it, so hold on. Hold. Zendesk. No. Yeah, I accidentally just turned my mic up. I didn't turn it on. That was my bad. So we're gonna be working on the Fire Pit version 3 here in a second. So, yeah, I can't find it. Oh well. Okay, we're just gonna get started then. Okay. How's your weekend, funny guy? Also, every time I hear funny guy, I think of Boondock Saints. Have you ever seen Boondock Saints? Check it out, guys. Fire Pit number 3. Found bigger rocks. The whole thing is a little bit bigger. It's like I scaled it up a little bit altogether. And I'm sculpting on a piece of insulation foam. You can see, like, the rocks we had over here versus the rocks we got here. So what I'm going through, we're not sculpting the flames on this one. I'm going to mold this one kind of like the first one we did where I mold the fire pit by itself. So we have to go in and fill in the detail or the undercuts in between all the sticks and stuff. So that's going to be the first thing we do. What am I looking for? Oh, we finished the Krampus, the 4 Krampuses. I got magnets in them. I set them up for being wall hangers. I also got a hook on them, so you can hang them like a tree or on something if you want. So now that those are done, we're just going to literally move over to doing photos. So Chestburster's pretty much wrapped up. The Krampuses are done. I have one more aspect before I can do the official photo shoot for both the Chestbursters and the Krampus. Once that's done, they're going on Etsy, baby, and officially will be for sale after way too long. So I've been busy. Been a busy boy. And my weekend was all right. It was pretty chill. Sunday was a little frustrating. That's why I gamed for many hours. I was gaming for probably like 5 hours before I went live on Twitch. Or before I guess I just went live. Come on, can we focus, please? There we go. So this side was pretty much done. Well, actually not. Move this a little bit closer to me head. Basically like eye level with me now, so.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
What up? How's it going, Milo? How's your weekend going? Weekend already? No, how was your weekend? Your past weekend? Weekend didn't know something. I'm doing all right. I was saying I got my Krampuses done and I got my chest bursters done, so we're gonna be doing a photo shoot this weekend so that I can put them up for sale finally. Smooth. You got how you doing? What have you been up to? Any fun projects underway? Sprained your shoulder. So smooth, no trade. Oh. Oh, you're in a commission. Okay, that's good. Sorry to hear about your shoulder. How'd you do that? You were moving something, weren't you? It's moving shit that always does that. Hmm. Hmm. Lifted up 5 gallons of paint. Ooh. No longer 20. Yeah, I know that feeling. That's one thing I'm pretty comfortable doing because we deal with the 5-gallon buckets like daily here. But one of these days, you're right, I'm going to lift it and my arm is just going to fall off. But you'll be 53. Yeah. I think you need both things. It's not, I mean, being 53 has its own issues, but if as long as you realize you're 53, you take things, you're a little, like you take things a little bit more carefully, right? But it's when you think when you're 53 and you think you're 20, that's where the big issues come in. Man, sorry guys, you guys can't really see inside here, but true. That is very true. You know you're old when days go by really quickly. That's been my feeling. I need something. I don't know what, but I need something. Hold on. What's the, you said you're working on a commission, Milo? What's the commission? Is it a celebrity? Anyone I would know? Or is it just like a portrait of someone that I would not know? The third, better on scale. Way better, dude. This one is way more what I'm looking for. Third time's the charm. It was all about the rocks. It was all about the rocks. These are almost double the size of the original rocks. 4 of them, but now, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, the size of this one should let me be able to, like, once the flames are sculpted, I'll have a lot more room to fit all the unnecessary LEDs needed. Pretty complicated. Oh, that's cool. When did you get it? Or when did you get the commission, I mean? Y'all want to wrestle? I don't know. Do you want to wrestle? What's going on, Willow? I made a real estate guy not too long ago. I may do some of them. Oh, that's cool. Not much at all. Just about to fire up Diablo. How many hours you got into it? $12? That's not bad. Level 43, 90% done. Nice. Wait. Quite a bit. I'm out at level 43. Okay. Were you? I thought I asked you this. I don't remember if you answered. Was there a is there a level cap? Is it 50? Have you beaten it yet and just like replaying or what? Did I finish the Armsy? This is all part of the Armsy, technically. The Armsy is painted base coat, but I haven't done anything else to it because we've been battling with the fire pit for the Armsy. This is our version 3. This is version 2 right here. This is the flames from version 1. I just ended up in a situation where I wasn't getting the scale correct. And I want LEDs and cool lighting and all that shit. So unfortunately, I luckily didn't mold version 2, but I am going to mold version 3. I'm much happier with version 3. Once you hit 50, you slow down leveling a lot. Well, I'm pretty sure every level you hit, you slow down leveling. Yeah, it is. I found out. Yeah, when did I start it? In March? Something like that. Well, and to be fair to me, we've worked on a lot of other projects. Not a lot, but plenty of other projects too. So, but the fire pit, I don't think I'll sell a lot of them, but I am going to post the fire pit as its own item, as a product you can buy. It's perfectly fit for anyone doing models of well, I'm sure they could use it for other things, but if people were interested in modeling things that are like 12 inches or bigger, probably. Jesus, how deep does this little tiny hole in there go? But the Armsy's assembled. It's got its base coat on. It looks great. I'm really happy with it. But we just got to finish these stupid little side things before I start building the diorama, which I'm going to build out of this pink foam. This is 1-inch pink foam that's been cut down and melted and carved. But the rest of the diorama is absolutely going to be done from this stuff. So, but there's going to be so much wiring and LED stuff. It's going to take a while. I was going to paint the Armsy before all this, but I was like, why would I do that? In case something happens, I'd rather just wait till it's all ready and paint everything all at once. There's some streamer, I forget who it was, that worked on like a video game character, and their full project took like 6 years. I forget who it was. It was a big project though. Let's go, Chris. Yeah. I don't think Brush did. Maybe Brush has worked on something that took 6 years. I don't know. Maybe. Slow ass. Damn. It's brutal. Brutal. You can tell my sets are nice. Last year at this time, and it need me 150 to do a portrait. Now I do them for under 15. Under $15? Hey, Willow, did you play... I'm guessing you played Diablo 3. Did you like Diablo 3 as much as Diablo 4, or is 4 the first time you've jumped into Diablo? I think Glitch would actually like Diablo 4, but I know that if I play it, I'm gonna get sucked in. 3 took up so much of my time. Much more. It's cleaner. Okay. Ow. Kind of forgot the camera was there. It's cleaner. So I played Diablo 3 on the on a console. I never played on a PC. So, and I had a ton of fun. Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I don't. It's like meth. I spent so many hours of my life playing Diablo 3. They're just such deep games, man. It's kind of amazing, the replay value, though. Like, the amount of times that we restarted to play on, like, different difficulties and shit like that, like, that's kind of crazy. Happy sculpting. Thank you. Have fun, you know, doing the house things. Dusting is where the fun is at. I knew it. Booyah. Dusting with a power washer? Hell yeah. That actually sounds fun. This is why I want to own a house. Maybe I'd have to design it myself. That has a drain in every room. Can you imagine that? Tile floors, drain in every room. You can just power wash every room, okay? While you're at it, give me like waterproof furniture, everything. A prison? Kind of, yeah. With comfy stuff, though. Yeah, I'd be down with that. No, 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 no. Oh, man. It wants to... It's trying to move. Hell yeah. Do it, Milo. I want to see it. Okay? Fully waterproof walls. Everything, okay? I want to be able to wash the walls. Yo, Kyle, what's going on, homie? What are you up to, Kyle? Okay, back. Yeah, no, I was just saying, crap, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, that Diablo is like meth, and I don't want to play Diablo 4 because I don't want to do meth. And less than tomorrow. That's, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm down. You're welcome. You're welcome to, dude. Yeah, just hit me. Yeah, just jump in. I should get like a little bloop. Okay. Okay, we're gonna get some hot clay, put it in there. Oh, it's hot. Milo, do you have, is your arm in like a sling or like a brace or shoulder brace or anything like that? There he is. What's up?
Hey, what up, man?
Not much. How's it going with you?
Good. Gotta pull up stream on my computer so I can watch what you're working on.
Your arms is free? Oh, my armsy free. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. If you messed up your shoulder, you should put that shit in a brace or something, yo. Like you said, we're old now, Milo. And when we're old, we need to brace ourselves all the time for everything. You got to get one of those arm railings in the bathroom, you know, to really clench down.
Damn.
What you doing, dude?
Oh, nothing. Just sitting around.
You and your lovely garage.
My garage.
Garage. Yeah. Is it hot in there yet?
Yeah, it's getting warm, but I think I might try out a swamp cooler this summer.
You might be old, but still recover fast. Rock on. You're gonna buy a different swamp cooler, or are you gonna make your own swamp cooler?
Well, I was thinking of just getting a swamp cooler.
They have some smaller ones, yeah. Because it works.
Yeah, they've got like
it works so well at work.
Dude, well, hey man, like if you stand like 10 feet in front of that thing, you get cold.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I mean? And so I was thinking like they make the ones that are like doorway sized.
Yeah.
And so I just put it in the doorway to my garage and just have a swamp cooler going in, you know?
Hells to the yeah, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Milo mentioned how you're 53, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I see that. Milo, thank you.
Dude, what a blast from the past.
So I'm curious, Milo, when I actually turn 53, do I still get to, or how about this? When I turn 54, do I still get to be always 53? Like, or as I age in real time, is it going to become 54 that I am and 55, so on and so forth? You know what? I didn't pull out my shoulder lifting a 5-gallon bucket, okay? That hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
I forget what I was lifting the other day. It was a 5-gallon. I think it might have been Slacker, like last week. It was like a new bucket of Slacker's like the worst thing to have to pour.
dude, that's just like liquid lead.
Yeah, exactly. It's like hoisting a 5-gallon bucket up and then over a scale trying to measure out like 20 grams. You know, like it's really sad. So you working on any gonna be working on any fancy paintings, man?
Maybe soon, like in the next few days, but no, nothing right now.
Gotcha.
Like I told you, man, I'm retiring. I've retired, dude.
Done with
I've
this
given
art
up.
shit.
Yeah, it's too much, dude.
You know, your name's just gonna have to be Kyle may or may not do art.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes Kyle thinks he does art.
First year, I started getting into 2 different gallery shows. I just decided to give up. You know, I was having too much success getting into shows.
To be fair, it's not as impressive as it sounds.
Dude, it is. Why is that not impressive? I mean, obviously it'd be great for you to sell, sell them for bajillions of dollars, but getting into art shows, you know.
But like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess like in perspective, yeah, like, 4 years ago, it wouldn't have been like, it would have been a huge deal for me. But the more I started to learn about like, the logistics of how, I know this is like a cheeseball statement, but like how the industry works, it's like, man, like galleries, especially galleries that do like open calls, are like begging for artists to put their work up. And so it's like, when you get in, it's like, yes, this is really cool. But then you like see some of the other shit that you're like put up with, and you're like, ah. So like,
so that's my level. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been in 2 galleries, and that was when I was a lot younger, and that was just like riding off the coattails of my pops. So, but either way, still pretty. For me, it was a pretty uneventful experience. What do you think the most prestigious gallery to be in would be? So there's museums and shit generally, but I mean,
there's museums, but like, there's like, dude, believe it or not, there's a lot of like underground kind of galleries that I would love to be kind of a part of. There's this one in LA called 2-Car Garage. And it literally is a 2-car garage. Like that's the gallery. But that's sort of where like all of the like up and comers kind of go through.
Sounds like some goddamn hipster shit.
It is.
Okay.
It's very hipster shit, right? But like it's really nice. Like it's not like, it's not like if I opened
it's
my
not
garage.
like an actual garage.
It's not an actual garage. Like it is an actual garage. Like think like there's like sliding doors. Like there's like the 2 sliding doors come up. It's a 2-stall garage, very small space. Like you could probably fit like, a couple cars in there or whatever. But like it's been like redone. Like the inside is like really nice. And that's where like a couple of like up and comers I've seen go through. There's another God, what's that one? There's another one in LA that I really wanted to fucking go through. One of my buddies on Instagram has done a couple shows there. It's called like the Shed or something like that.
What is it with all these? What's next going to be like the Closet Gallery?
Well, dude, like it's actually not uncommon apparently for in the LA art scene to it's called the Bunker. That's what it is. There's the Bunker and the Shed, both owned by the same dude. It's like it literally is like a 10-foot by 10-foot room. And the only way to like view this space is by appointment only. Like he has like a very close-knit network of collectors that like you have to be a collector of his, or like through him. He's an art dealer, and so like he basically has like a private showroom that like only his collectors are allowed to like come through and see the artwork that's on display. Um and so like
Sounds
you
snazzy.
basically, yeah, it like it is kind of like it's kind of cool. Like it's, to be fair, like I would be more impressed to be the guy that started this thing, because the bunker is like in his backyard. Like it's just like this, like it's almost like he bought like a Home Depot shed and then like fitted it to look really cool and like modern, like chic kind of thing,
Hmm.
and made it like look like kind of like a gallery. And he hosts some of like some pretty fucking huge names in the art world.
Do you know if he
And
himself is an artist or?
I don't know if he is or not. I couldn't find anything on Instagram about him other than his like, galleries. But yeah, like one of my buddies that I made like through Instagram, did a show with him. That was a while ago, but yeah, I was like, damn, dude, like I need to talk to this guy to fucking try and hook me up. So apparently he sells the shit out of your work. Like if you get your work up in there, like that's where you're like, $5,000 to $15,000 a painting shit kind of goes,
Huh. You ever thought about saying fuck it and just pricing your paintings at that cost?
I mean, I fucking might as well. No one buys them anyways.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like,
Not yet, man, but one of these days.
no, yeah, I'm not saying that in like a pessimistic attitude. I'm just saying like,
In a matter of
if
fact,
like,
kind of like, yeah.
yeah, like in a matter of fact of like, yeah, like if I priced my paintings at, $10,000 right now, by the time anyone would actually be interested in buying them, they might actually be worth that,
Right.
Whereas like if I kept them priced at like, I think the most expensive painting I have right now is like
1,500, isn't it? Something like that?
like 1,500, I think, yeah, or like 1,550 or something. It's like that one's probably never gonna get bought, but like in a couple years that might be worth some. There might be like an interest in it if I keep doing these these shows and appearances and stuff, and just kind of grinding on the grinding online and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know.
Excited.
I've always felt like the pricing them a little bit lower would help. Dude, I seen a fucking. Do you remember me telling you one time about this guy, this artist Christian Rex Van Minen? How
Yeah.
he like he sells opportunities to buy his paintings.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
in some shows that he does, like you have to pay $12,000 to be entered into a pool of collectors, which is non-refundable. $12,000 is non-refundable to be entered into a pool of collectors that will then have the opportunity to submit applications as to why they should be allowed to buy these paintings, right?
Right.
Dude, he just released a print. And to be fair, like the guy's like, he's a real like professional, like these prints are very high quality. It's like a 32 color, or it's a 34 color silkscreen print of one of his paintings. So it comes out very
Damn.
realistic to the painting, right? Like it's very layered and it comes out very realistic to the painting. But the prints alone are $3,500.
Jesus. But how many? Yeah, but how many are there?
I think maybe like 100.
And how many? And so obviously there's their original painting. What would, like, his work? Like, what would that go for?
I legitimately have no clue. The dude is so good at keeping his prices under wrap for his paintings that I honestly don't know. And I'm like I'm a stan for this guy.
One of his biggest fans.
Hey, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, rock on. And you don't know how much his paintings go for. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I have absolutely no fucking clue what his paintings go for.
And you said, at least at one time, he's pretty prolific, right? Or is he still?
He still is. Yeah, he's still like being talked about. And
Well, I mean, like putting out a lot of work.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's still like on like in this weird like constantly putting out stuff. But like what I noticed is this year, a lot of his work is massive. Like it's huge, and it's also
Oh, you
like
mean like
extremely
physically large?
yeah, like physically large, and it's like it's extremely realistic and detailed, and um, I actually just found this like not very watched like studio visit that he had done. I think it's like a year ago when he was in his old studio.
Like a studio tour
And
of his studio?
yeah. Um, and like his walls were just like plastered with paintings that are in progress.
How old is he? Do you
And
know?
I think he's 40 now. I think he just turned 40 recently.
Okay. I wonder.
Which like was, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if we'll ever have a another like Van Gogh or someone that is so recognizable, or if arts just becomes so huge that
Yeah.
like we'll never have those individuals that are kind of like household names. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Man, I don't know because like even some of the well, uh, yes, I do believe there will be, and but it's not gonna be what it was.
Well,
If
yeah,
that makes any sense.
yeah.
The art that is gonna be the household name is not gonna be the kind of art that it has been in the past. In the past, it's always been like painters and sculptors.
I mean, yeah,
Now that we've
technically
like
we have filmmakers. Those are some filmmakers, Steven Spielberg, right? Like, yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, even if you wanted to like exclude filmmaking and music, we have this like we've opened this like door of and not in a negative way. I'm just saying like I guess a more positive way to put it would be like we've we've broadened the spectrum to like performative art.
Okay. Are
And
you
there's like
including anything like streaming, kind of, or no?
no like think like Marina Ibrahimovic or whatever her name
Yeah, I don't
is.
know who that is.
um or Ule. Um, you probably don't know who that is either.
This is my point, dude. This is my point. Now, I am not the
Yeah,
best reference either because I'm not up on like I'm not up on if this is like pop culture shit. You know, like
yeah.
when you're saying performance,
Um,
are you literally talking about it where like someone gets on a stage, they're lit all weird, strange music is playing, like someone's raking a spoon against like tree branches and like someone's dancing
in a
around
sense,
like
yeah.
in the weirdest ways? Like, yeah, okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
Don't even think like performance isn't like needing a stage. Like Marina, her name is Marina Abramovich.
Okay.
She's class or yeah, like categorized as a Serbian conceptual artist.
Mm.
Um and like her and the guy that she kind of became famous with like back in like the 70s, I think, is when they started to get like really big in the like contemporary New York art scene. They
Hmm.
would do like performances where you know like Marina would hold the back end of a bow, like a long bow, and Ule would hold the string with an arrow in it, and they would lean with all of their weight on either side, and the arrow would be pointing straight at her neck, and sort of this like performance of like
It that's
at any moment he could choose to just let the arrow
yeah,
go.
that makes me think of two things. There's a House episode where one of the patients is basically supposed to be someone like that, but they get injured during one of their performances. But beyond that, I don't know if you've heard me or like say Paladin talking about at work about the movie Future Crimes. It's
Mm-mm.
a Lynch film. It's brand new. Well, last year I think, and it's
Okay.
got Viggo Mortensen in it. And wait, no, Cronenberg. Sorry, Cronenberg. Um, I constantly get those names mixed up. Anyways, it's kind of about what you're talking about. There's more to the story, but one of the side like secondary storylines is that the two main characters are performance artists using future surgery as the thing that people watch. And it's both this like sensual and like sexual thing, but it's also medical, but it's future medical and it's Cronenberg medical. So it's not like, don't imagine like an ER, imagine like a temple with like,
like crystal lasers.
No, like tribalistic trilobite machines, like biomechanical, like machines performing surgery and shit like that. It's a trip.
What is called?
It's called Future Crimes. It was pretty good. It's very Cronenberg, very weird. I don't want to say hard to follow, but all of his work literally blurs that line that I was talking about with fucking that fucking movie you made me watch. What is it fucking called? The Stupid in the Desert movie. Anyways,
damn, I even forgot what that movie was called. What the hell was
Outwaters. Okay.
Outwaters, yeah.
So like Outwaters is a little bit more artsy, but Future Crimes and Cronenberg's work kind of always blends a little bit. Like it's almost there. Okay.
But
it's a little bit more
thumbnails.
Yeah, cohesive.
Sorry, what
I'm just saying the storyline's just a bit more cohesive, yeah.
Yeah, the like some of the images that I'm finding of like the I guess I don't know if these are creatures that they're making, or don't spoil it because I actually might watch this tonight. Remind me a little bit of Chet Zar. He's a painter. He makes these like grotesque monster portraits that are like kind of humanoid.
Yeah, there's no monsters in the movie. If you're seeing something, that's literally a machine.
Well, no, there's like I'm seeing this guy that's got ears grafted all over his body.
Yeah, that's one of the performers, and he surgically had all that done, and that's like his performance is having all that done.
God.
Yeah,
dude, I'm watching this tonight. This is gonna be crazy, dude. Have you ever heard of or not heard of, but so I think it was a couple years ago, and I don't know if it was fake or not. I couldn't find anything for it to be fake. But there was this, whenever you had mentioned like future medical performance, surgery, stuff like that. There was a supposedly, I mean, there was clips of it, which is why I'm still kind of like confused as to why it's not like, why it might be fake or not or whatever. But there was a performance piece done in an old school operating theater where you could buy tickets to this operating theater, and the performance was that there was a couple, it was a man and a woman, and a surgeon came in and spliced off a section of their skin, like grabbed like chunks of their skin off of each of them, and then right in front of them cooked and prepared it, and then they ate it in front of the audience.
I wouldn't doubt that. Our makeup artist that recently, well, 2 makeup artists ago, earlier this year that left, they ate skin at a fetish bar or party something where a person willingly got like roasted just enough to cook their skin, and surgically like removed small pieces, and people ate it. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
that's nuts, man.
Yeah, I it is fucking nuts. It's awesome in a weird nuts way. Like
it's awesome if someone writes a movie about it. It's fucking psycho if you're doing it in real life.
Would you wait? So you wouldn't? Would you not eat a piece of human skin?
I mean, yeah, but not in like a performative way. Like I wouldn't be doing
just that
like,
night when I'm at home when I'm hungry. I mean, that's when you eat human skin.
Like if I went to your house and you were like, "Hey, like I'm not gonna tell you how, I'm not gonna tell you any details."
That makes it worse.
Why?
If I presented you cooked human flesh to eat, and I prefaced it by, I'm not going to tell you how or where or why. Here's some human flesh.
I'm not incriminated.
No, but it makes it worse. Like if I was like, hey, dude, so I out of experimental, just wanting to know what it was like. Cut off 4 square inches of my skin. Glitch had one. I had
doesn't have to
one.
be yours.
Would you like
It
to
could
have?
be.
You don't think it would be better to know where the skin is coming from?
It's cooked. It's not gonna matter.
It matters to me, man. I would want to know where it's coming from.
I guess. I mean, but now, like, to be fair, like, you could just like cook some pork and be like, "This is human," and I'd be like, "This is awesome," and then eat it. Like,
That's true, yeah.
but yeah, I think I would probably. Yeah, I mean, I probably would do it, but like, I feel like once you do any sort of like once you just like start including performance into it, it just starts to feel a little lame and cheesy. Like if you want to eat a piece of human, do it, but don't make a big fucking deal about it.
That's
You
like
know what I
saying
mean?
if
Like,
you want to paint, but don't like make a big fucking deal out of it.
yeah, if I could do that, I've said this 1,000 times, maybe not to you, but like if I had $1 billion, I wouldn't be painting for money. I'd be painting just to paint.
Yeah, that's true.
Painting is just like the most useful skill that I have. Well, not the most useful skill that I have, but the most useful skill that I have that I'm the best at.
Right.
And so I've just kind of decided that like this is just a way. I'm just going to have to figure out how to get good at this and how to like, you know, like become an artist or whatever, you know.
Become an artist.
And unfortunately I do have to make a big deal about it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I figure I always guess that. Hold on a second here. I guessed that the performance aspect of stuff like that was the reason to do it. It was like, well, not the reason. It's the
yeah.
It's the
That's the fun of it.
quote unquote. Well, no, I think for those people, it's probably like the acceptable format in which to do it. I think to most people,
True.
they could see that even people who aren't a big fan of the idea of, say, like eating skin or something, like, oh, they're just weird performance artists. It's different if you then meet someone the next day who's like, oh, yeah, I go home and eat skin every night. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's different.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
acceptable because you're doing this as performance art. Even if that's not even the real reason. What if the real reason is they're just cannibals, you know? But hey,
Yeah.
we're just performance cannibals, okay?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's no one does performance art that they don't want to do, you know? I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sure there'd be someone out there that would disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because they feel a calling, maybe. You know, they're like, I don't want to do this. I have to do this.
I have to do it. I was called to do this.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
The muses woke me up and told me to do this. I wish I wasn't doing this, but I'm creatively cursed.
Wow. But yes, actually. Wow and yes.
Yeah.
It is possible to be
And I
creatively
mean,
cursed and not
that is-
pretentious, though, you know?
I know. I just I love giving you shit, man. No, yeah, I for 100% would be painting, even if like, you know, like I'll be painting until I fucking die. You know what I mean? Like even if there was like a point in my life where I was like, I'm just gonna stop showing this to people or whatever. Still gonna be painting stuff because, to be fair, it is a really cool skill to have.
Yeah.
I've always kind of equated it to people as to like why it's like so cool of a skill to have. People always are like, oh yeah, you can make cool things or like you can make cool images and stuff. To me, that's not the mind-blowing part. The mind-blowing part is that there was something in my brain that told me to continue to learn how to draw and get good at it, right? I'm sure that it's not like some inert like DNA thing, you know. There was probably some sort of like at a young developmental stage, I got a lot of support for maybe a good couple of doodles that I did, and I just like that just got imprinted on my brain, and then it just kind of like went up, right? There's a lot of like developmental psychology that probably goes into why artists are artists.
That's true.
But the mind-blowing fact for me is that with 2D art, picture making, if you will, is that I can very, I almost said 100%, but I can't. No, I don't think anyone can 100% accurately, but I can very, very accurately portray exactly what I'm thinking, and you can understand it.
Yeah, we've talked about this aspect of it before, for sure.
Yeah, like I can literally take my thoughts and put them down in an image that you can understand. And you can understand it very well. Most of the time, people can understand it very well. If I decide to be a little, like, you know, cheeky and hide some little things in there that would be cool, like little Easter eggs or something that, like, you know, those are just for me kind of thing, then, you know, so be it. But, like, if I'm trying to portray, like, my thoughts to you, I can do it very easily, very quickly, and very effectively.
I was going to say, there's this guy, I think I told you about this. Maybe I didn't. One of an employee we used to have, he spent some time in jail. I think I told you about that much, at least. But it was jail, not prison. I think he was in for maybe like 3 months or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But in the time that he was in, he got really popular because he could draw.
Yeah, you did tell me about this. Yeah, that's a common thing apparently.
And it makes sense, you know, in prison. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions to this, but like, it's not exactly like Photoshop, you know, or like readily can just like go to Hallmark and pick up like a card for a significant other that's on the outside, you know. And so having someone who can illustrate for you, like earning favors and stuff, really actually kind of shows hell. I mean, I'd imagine being an artist and being in jail could definitely have its benefits. You might do pretty well for yourself.
Could you, dude? Okay.
This is an idea for a movie, is what it is. Yeah.
Elevator pitch. This is where I'm going. You know exactly where I'm going. A guy who goes to prison for murder. We can make his murder, like his crime, like super virtuous, right? Like maybe there was like a guy broke into his house, was going to kill his wife. And he killed the guy, but somehow there wasn't enough evidence to pin the self-defense, and so he goes to prison for a very long time, right? But he goes in, and he's not like he's not a gangster. He doesn't, you know how to sell drugs. He doesn't know where to get drugs. He's not like a hard guy.
Yeah.
But he figures out, like, oh shit, like if I just use my art, I can get close to these people, and I can, you know, he slowly starts to discover that, oh, I can trade my art for favors. And it's easy for him. Like, drawing stuff is easy for him. Like, people can say, like, oh, draw me like a fish with big titties on it or something. And he's like, cool, have it done in an hour, you know? Yeah. And they're like, I'll owe you this or this favor or that favor, whatever. But this guy takes it so far as to like almost becoming like a cell block shot caller.
Just because moved his way up,
he basically starts like in inside the walls art gallery where like other prisoners can like submit their artwork to be shown in the commons area, and like they sell them for like, you know, like chips to,
okay,
like,
does he ever get rough? Like, I mean, like, after so long,
he gets rough, but only about his art. He actually becomes a teetotaler.
I don't know what that
like
is.
He never was it. Like he becomes like so straight edge. Like he's like, he actually like runs out the drugs from the prison because the drugs are taking away from his profits.
So how does it end? How does the story end?
If people are spending their money on drugs, they're not spending their money on art, right?
Right.
So it ends. Man, dude, you could go like the very easy fucking movie ending way, where basically he gets out. They eventually find the evidence after 10 years, 15 years. They reopen the case. Some new detective reopens the case. They find the evidence. They find the strand of hair.
Oh, dude, he gets out and he's a nobody.
And he's a nobody.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
He's a nobody, and everyone's like, "What was prison like?" And how do you explain to someone that you ran a fucking art cabal in prison? You don't. You can't say that. So he just has to be like, it was fine. Nothing bad happened. It was a great time, I guess. And then he realizes that he is a literal nobody. And you could stop it there.
Yeah, I think you
or
would.
You could end the movie with him committing another crime to go back.
Ooh, that's good. I was gonna say, or end it like really sad, even more sad than the like he's a nobody, right? You end it with like a young kid gets in as he's older. He's been in there for like 30 years or some shit. And a young kid, and he thinks he's hot shit, but there's this new young kid that's coming in that maybe like befriends him at first or whatever, as like an apprentice sort of, but then usurps him because he's a better artist.
Or, oh yeah. So yeah, we could go that route or two other routes. Okay, hang on, I gotta catch these thoughts before they fleet. This young kid comes in, right?
Yeah.
And starts to befriend him. After a couple conversations,
thanks for hanging out, dude. Have a great night. Sleep well.
To the guy, he goes, well, my uncle spent like 3 years here when I was 16.
Right.
And when he got out, he told me about you. And I've always been an aspiring artist. And I figured, you know, if I can't make it out in the real world, I might as well go like rob a bank and shoot some people and get locked up so that I could at least try and impress you.
Damn.
And he's like, but this is like 3 days before this guy gets out.
Yeah.
And so that kid is kind of stuck in there in like a power vacuum of who takes over the art industry, right? In the prison.
That's true.
Or if you really want to play and pull on the heartstrings of every artist that watches this movie, the guy gets out, he's a nobody. You know, everyone's like, you know, are you okay? Was prison fun? You know, how was prison? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he can't really explain to them that he was a shot caller because of his art dealing and wheeling, you know, wheeling and dealing skills and all that shit. He can't explain that. And so he just has to be like, you know, it was fine. And he, you know, he goes to bed the first night and he wakes up the next day and he sort of like gets out of bed, gets dressed real nice, and grabs a portfolio of his art that he made while he was in prison. And it's good stuff. And he goes to a gallery downtown and they go, it's just not good enough, man. Like, it's just not something that I could see any gallery.
I got better. Oh, dude, same idea, right? But they're like, well, actually, the only thing we're interested in right now are people's prompts for AI art.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's been out of the game so long.
That he has no idea about AI art.
Yeah.
That would be a good one, too. Or
some social undertones.
Instead of them saying the only thing we're interested is people's prompts for AI art, they go, actually, we're only interested right now, and honestly, we're booked up for like the next 6 years with submissions of artists from the the Clark County Penitentiary.
Like all along, someone else was doing the same thing at a different prison.
Like, well, the guards were scalping the work and fucking sending it off to galleries and stuff.
Damn. Yeah, that could work. There you go. Bam. We just gave a movie.
Boom.
A24, I expect royalties.
Yeah. Just to let you guys know, you can sub with Prime. It'll help fund this movie. It'll be called Inside an Artist's Mind, artist on the inside.
No, there's got to be there's got to be like a play on prison phrases that would work, right? Like, I can't think of any right now, but
what's that one, like, man,
call it Shank, but have like the thing be like a bloody the poster for it would be like a beaten, bruised hand up close that looks bloody, but it's holding a paintbrush instead of a fucking
then
like
it's
a
gonna
shank.
be a horror movie.
No, it is a horror movie, kind of.
No, it's not.
It's
a drama
with some horror ideas, man. Especially throw AI art in there. There we go. Horror.
Oh, dude, we could even write a little part for you where one of the guys that's in prison becomes obsessed with old horror films, and he uses like the resources he has in jail, like Vaseline and Jello and stuff to make props. And he makes like special effects.
No,
props,
we're not doing
like...
that. No, this is about a painter, okay? This isn't about some prisoned effects artist, okay? That's not happening. Because an effects artist would never go to prison, first of all, okay? Like, we're too smart.
I'm actually kind of curious. I'm gonna look that up.
I'm sure there's plenty of filmmakers that are in prison for sure. This piece of wood is pissing me off, dude.
Lord of the Rings, special effects man, 48, jailed for at least 26 years for stabbing his parents to death. Damn, dude, and that's a pretty big movie.
Dude, giving us a bad name.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
You know you're supposed to, like, make versions of fingerprints that aren't yours to wear when you commit the crimes, okay?
That's
like,
true.
Yeah.
Actually, like, whenever you said, like, we're too smart for that, I thought you were just making a dig on painters.
Yeah.
But it actually makes sense because, like, if a special effects artist is going to commit a crime, they would completely disguise it for themselves.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They'd be like, and when he pulled his gun out, he was a zombie.
I got robbed by a zombie. Yeah, that's true.
I got robbed by Dracula. What? Yeah, like the drum strokers Dracula. Like it was...
Fuck! Ow. Okay, there we go. We're better now.
Did you poke yourself?
Nope. Just you know, wicked hot clay. Wicked hot clay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think that like really hot oil-based clay was the worst thing to get on your skin. Then I met hot glue guns.
I had that feeling about hot glue before I had it with clay for sure.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've been burning myself with hot glue on accident for years, ever since I was a wee lad.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Hot glue is both as absolutely cool as everyone thinks it is, and actually just as useless as it is cool. Like when you really need it for something to work really well, it sucks, and then it like sticks and works really well for shit you didn't really need it to. It's just like yeah.
Yep.
The most disappointing thing about hot glue, in my opinion, is its lack of waterproofness.
Like being like a watertight seal.
Yeah, like a sealant. Yeah, it does not work for that. So have you got your bicycle all picked out?
No, I'm working on it.
Oh, you're planning on shipping out your motorcycle, right?
Yeah, I have some work that I got to get done first. Like I got to get my Nevada driver's license because unfortunately like my Kansas driver's license won't allow me to just like get a Nevada motorcycle's license. I have to get the Nevada driver's license first and then the Nevada motorcycle's license. Which is gonna entail me having to do like the driver's ed course and stuff.
No, it didn't for me.
No, for motorcycle.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. No. I can get the driver's license just easy peasy. But I can't get the motorcycle license without doing the driver's course bullshit. And then after that, I'll ship out my motorcycle.
Gotcha. And you said there's just like some little shit you got to do to it to make it.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy. I mean, like it's an old, it's like it's like a vintage bike. There's not a lot of stuff that can go wrong with the old vehicles. And what
year
can
is
go
it?
wrong is 71.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
It still runs though. We kept it in really good shape.
Nice.
For like the year that it is. So yeah, it's a nice bike. It's
like just collecting dust right now, pretty much.
Yeah, my dad gets it out every now and then just to kind of like check on it, but no one rides it. I was the only person that ever rode it.
Where did you get it from?
my dad actually traded some work for it. Like that's pretty much where I got all of my bikes from growing up. Was my dad would do some like mechanic work for someone, and they would be like, well, I don't have any money, and my dad's like one of those guys that's like, well, like I'll take trades. And so like the first bike that I ever had was a 50cc Indian Tecumseh, which I don't expect you to know what that is.
I don't.
But
Yep.
just imagine a bike that is shorter than your kneecaps. I got it when I was 7 years old.
Oh, I think I know. Well, I've seen bikes like that, little tiny bikes. I've seen those.
Yeah. Yep. It was so I got it when I was 7 years old. It was the first motorcycle I ever got. I actually learned how to ride a bicycle the same year I learned how to ride a motorcycle. And then after that, and he traded that, like he just did some like, I think he did some sort of mechanics work for this guy. And he was like, yeah, I mean, like, if you don't have any money, you can just give me that bike right there, And the guy was like, cool, done. Every time that my dad has traded like labor for a vehicle, it's always because the person is like, dude, that thing doesn't even run. You can, yeah, fuck yeah. And my dad takes it home and he's like, yeah, it just took like like an $80 part and I got it running again. I just, he just had to like take it all the way apart and replace this one little piece in the middle and then put it all back together, and then it ran just perfectly. And so yeah, I got that, and then he ended up doing some more work for a guy that traded him a Honda Mini Trail, which is another 50cc, and but that one was a little bit bigger. I got that one when I was like 10, I think, and then after that is when I started getting the cool shit. That was when I started getting after that when I was 15,
Things
I got the
glitch.
bike that I currently
It is coming
have,
along.
which is the it's a 1971 Honda Enduro. It's a 4-stroke motor, which it's a because it's an Enduro, it's a street bike as well. So it's an off-road style motorcycle that has, or it's an off-road style motorcycle that also has street capability. So it has all the legal aspects of being allowed to be on the streets, blinkers,
mirrors,
all the correct parts. I don't think it has mirrors. Yeah, I think it has one. On a motorcycle, you're only legally required to have one mirror.
I think that's true on cars too, actually.
Yeah, it's on the driver's side mirror. It's the only mirror that you need to have.
Well, on car, is it the driver's side? That maybe, I don't know. Okay, huh? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, because I know that you're not required to have a rear view mirror in a car.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
And then after that, we got that one, but we never got rid of it. The other two, I think the Honda Mini Trail we got rid of, but after the Honda, after the 71 Enduro, my dad was like, all right, I think you're old enough for like a 2-stroke, which is just like it's a much faster motor.
Yeah.
So he ended up trading this guy instead of doing work, he traded this guy some parts for this. It was a Yamaha YZ 125cc 2-stroke motor. This thing was fucking nuts, dude. This is the fastest bike I've ever had in my life. It was just a straight dirt bike, and that was where I learned what a power band was. So a power band basically is a it's kind of hard to explain, but essentially when your motor hits a certain amount of RPMs, it like starts to exponentiate the RPMs. So like imagine you're in third gear and you get like in the upper levels of third gear, and then it's almost like you kicked into 3.5 gear and it just fucking takes off.
Well, I know dirt bikes are very I want to say dangerous, but like my buddies growing up, like they would have they'd have motorcycles, they'd have other toys and stuff like that, but it was always the dirt bikes that would be just like fucking always the thing that they were always like, oh, fucking stupid fast, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
I wonder what it is about dirt bikes that are like that, but like why?
It's the motors.
Well, yeah, but is it just dirt bikes that people really want that on? They don't want it on anything else, you know? Like, why dirt bikes? Just because of their potential use? Like off-roading and shit?
Yeah, it's the specifically a YZ125. It is specifically a off-road racing bike.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not meant for. So the thing about a two-stroke engine is that you're not meant to be like full throttle for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
It's like sprinting kind of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So like a two-stroke, you're looking for like, you know, you're gonna be like full throttle, grab a couple gears, and by the time you've like grabbed a couple gears, you're gonna be slowing down to make a turn, and then full throttle, grab a couple gears, slow down, make a turn, slow down, take a jump, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's why it's like you couldn't, like, if you had a street bike, it wouldn't make too much sense, because if you keep your throttle open on a two-stroke motor for too long, you're gonna fuck your motor up, essentially.
So wait, so in total, how many bikes have you had that were like yours throughout your life?
5.
Damn.
Technically 6, but the 6th one doesn't exist anymore.
Like at all?
Yeah. Yeah, it burned down. It caught on fire.
Did it catch on fire, or did someone set it on fire?
Someone set it on fire.
Jesus. Doesn't exist anymore. It actually entered another dimension.
Yeah.
It departicleized, yeah.
Yeah, I went 88 miles per hour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for a while I had a 4-stroke enduro, which was nice. It just didn't have the like get up and go that like a 2-stroke does.
I'll have to take your word on that, man. I just know that what I know about 2-strokes is that they're loud.
Yeah, they're known for the
very high pitched.
Yeah, brap. Yeah, they go brap, 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 brap. Yeah. Yeah, that sound that you're hearing, that's the power band. Sorry, I know this is super fucking boring for a.
Hey, you know what? I learned some shit. Okay, I don't think it's boring. I'm used to these types of conversations about stuff that I don't know about. And by that I mean, like, you know, motorcycles and shit. I always want, like, dude, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about motorcycles. I
think everyone should try it.
Well, I mean, I've ridden on motorcycles and stuff, and I drove one for a very short, like, distance, you know, but I don't know. For me, it's more like, I don't know how practical they are. Like, maybe out here in places like California and stuff, right? Like, where the weather is generally nice, you know? But, I mean, I remember for a while, my buddy, he only had a motorcycle. He didn't have a car for like, I think it was like 6 months or something like that. And this is in Michigan. And he wanted to come over and hang out. And it was, I lived like car drive, maybe 15 minutes away. You know, think, you know, you lived in the middle of nowhere. Think like those types of roads, like 2 small towns with nothing but long roads in between the 2 small towns, right? And it was just snowing like a crazy motherfucker. And at night, he drove his fucking motorcycle the fucking 10 miles. Now, and he showed up and he was full snowsuit. Admittedly, I don't think he was being particularly like dangerous, because I think he ended up, I think he said the fastest he went was like 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I have no idea how much more you have to take into consideration when driving a motorcycle through heavy snow than you would anything else, you know? But I'd imagine it's quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because like so like imagine like so we as humans are bipedal, right? But we are oh man, I'm forgetting my anatomy terms. You'll have to remind me. It's not. What's the opposite of anterior and posterior?
Wait, the opposite? Isn't anterior and posterior the opposite of each other?
No. Like imagine like an axis, like a human body on an axis, right? Anterior is forward, posterior is backward. What's side to side? It's
something in all. It's like, isn't it end in like a like an AL or something like that? Like a
I can't
proximal.
remember, but like,
is it proximal and no? That's close. That's like how close something is.
Yeah, like you could be like a proximal anterior hinge or joint or whatever.
I don't know. But we are bipedal. I agree.
We're bipedal, but we move forward, but our legs are side to side, right? Now imagine if you like if your feet were like, imagine like you're like a bike, right? Like you're front to front, right?
Yeah.
If wind hits you from the side while you're moving forward and your feet are in front of each other, there's a lot of balance that has to come into it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that you have to worry about on a bike, right? Crosswinds.
Yeah.
That's the reason that bikes have spokes.
Right.
Is because like crosswinds can fucking hit your, like if we had the same sort of like if bikes had the same sort of style of like spokes that car wheels had, the wind would just destroy bikes. You can get some like fancy like spokes for your like bike wheels that are like solid plates, but they're just for show. But it's for like wind, so that they don't fucking like hit your wheels and stuff. It's like a crosswind does. But like in snow, if you got a crosswind that hits you and you're on snow, the bike's just gonna fall over. And you're doing 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The bike just lays over on you. I've seen plenty. I've been on plenty of like we would call them like fun runs, which is essentially like, imagine like a motorcycle convoy where like 80 guys on bikes just drive through. As a kid, like riding on the back of either my dad or my grandpa's bike, as a kid I've watched guys on their bikes just like crosswind hits and they just lay that bike over going 65 miles an hour. It just falls.
Well, there's got to be a way around it. Otherwise, this would be happening literally all the time, right? Like,
right? Yeah.
I'm guessing just being ready for it at any potential moment.
Right. Yeah, and also not having a big bike. I've never been a fan of like cruiser style bikes.
Yeah,
which are like
sails. They end up being just like a sail. Yeah.
Yeah. Those like bikes that have like the big like fiberglass saddlebags.
Yeah.
Giant tanks and big windshields on them and shit like that. It's like you're basically riding a sail.
Well, that's why I said, I mean, like living out here, Vegas, California, not even all of the West Coast, but at least the southern part of the West Coast, like the weather is generally so freaking nice that you don't really have a ton to worry about. But I mean, you've probably seen it, or maybe you've even done it, where like you're on the freeway and you see someone like a bike guy like pulled over under an underpass or an overpass for like, because it just started raining and thundering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder how long your poor ass is going to get stuck there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you don't really have to do that.
No, you don't have to, but I'm sure part of it's like, I don't want to get soaking wet.
Well, it's also that like that water is ice, man. Like,
yeah,
you don't have the other two tires of a car that are kind of keeping your shit together. Like, right. It wouldn't take wind to lay your bike over on, water. Like hydroplaning on a car is scary.
Yeah.
Hydroplaning on a bike is fucking terrifying.
I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is my point, man. I don't know. Mixed emotions about bikes. I see like they seem like a fun thing. I don't know if they seem like a practical thing.
Yeah. I guess I've never really like gotten way deep into like the practicality of it.
Well, I mean, but then again, like in your situation, like for example, like, you guys share a car as it is. So like, and you are in Vegas, so it's getting a bike out here
right
makes,
now,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, other than like when it gets cold. Yeah.
Even then, I
But
mean,
even
what's
then,
the coldest
yeah.
that really? I feel like this last winter actually was pretty Diet Coke, compared
Yeah.
to our winter before where we actually saw snow out here.
Yeah.
I'm actually sad that the winter is gone and we come back to summertime and now it's gonna get hot as fuck.
Dude.
But I will admit, I am acclimating, okay? Because it's been, what,
Yeah.
90 something? Has it gotten up to 100? My car says 100, but I think it's giving me like not accurate readings. But I've seen high 90s for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And I can tell that it doesn't bug me as much as it did like even a year ago.
What's going to be interesting for you is that you will probably run into the same issues that I did, because you've gotten acclimated. When you go back home, you're gonna be like the bitch that's like walking around.
Oh, that already happened. Yeah,
in like 65, 70, and everyone's gonna be in like shorts and t-shirts and be like, it's a nice summer day.
Yeah,
you're
right.
like, I'm freezing to my bones.
I don't think it'd be that bad because I like cold to begin with, but I mean, I used to be. It'd more be during fall time in the Midwest. Like the falls are cold. They will get and they will just you'll hover in the 40s and 30s. But just no snow. It'll just be cold and wet, right? Back in the day when I was a kid, I would literally be I would be in that weather because it wasn't winter yet. It wasn't officially like snow and stuff. And I'd be in a t-shirt and shorts, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that now.
Dude, no way. Absolutely not.
I think when you're younger, there's just like an acceptable level of uncomfortability that you're like, oh yeah, I can just be with this during this. And now I'm like, nah, dude, this is not acceptable.
Yeah. As a kid, you were sacrificing comfort to look cool. And as you get older, you're like, I'm not going to sacrifice shit for my comfort.
Yeah, exactly. But even just being out in the 90 degree weather, I've noticed I'm just like, no, this really isn't that bad. It's just because once you have that perspective of, oh, I know what 120 feels like, you know?
Yeah. And you know what it also is? It's as gross as it sounds, there's almost like an acclimation that you have to get to just being sweaty.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, that's
like
a good point.
I used to, like, growing up, like I did all the sports. Even though doing the sports, I hated being sweaty. I just didn't like being sweaty, and I think it was because like I was only sweaty sometimes. But like living out here, like you're always sweating, like always. Even like just sitting at work.
Yep.
There's some level of sweat that is happening on your body.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Sometimes not as pleasant as you'd like it to be.
Sometimes all the places.
Yeah, all the places. And like, to some people it's like uncomfortable to just be sticky. Right. And so you just get used to it. And then that's like, to me, that was the big hump of trying to like get over the like always just having some sort of like, I don't think my pits have been dry since we moved out. Like legitimately, I don't think they've been dry. Maybe after I've taken a shower and completely dried myself off with a hair dryer, that's when my whole body is completely dry.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, there's some level of moisture on my body, and if you can get used to that, you can live in the desert.
Dude, I had the crazy experience when I drove out here. Technically drove to California, but I noticed it before we got to California. Was that this is gonna sound nuts, dude? That the sun was just brighter. That,
dude,
like,
I've been saying this.
Which okay, now this is gonna sound crazy, but technically it makes sense. Because we're closer to the equator, we are technically closer to the sun, right? And the closer you get to like a light, it technically, I guess it's not. Right. Well, is it brighter? I don't know if it's brighter. Yeah. It should technically be the same brightness. It's just your perception of it is going to be modified. If you, for example, if I shine a flashlight at you from say a mile away, and then I shine that flashlight from in your face at 10 feet, it's gonna be brighter. But technically, the light hasn't changed.
The light
you know what I mean?
brighter, but the amount of space in my field of vision that the light is taking up is great.
Yeah. So
that's the way I kind of justify it.
Yeah. So literally, like, I remember literally driving out and hitting, was it Baja California or whatever? Because we took a really the south route in, and I remember being like, these sunglasses suck. They don't do anything. Something changed. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I always thought, I was like, when we first moved out here, or it wasn't when we first moved out here, it was when we came out here to look for apartments. I was like, there's something about the sun that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Like, it is so much fucking brighter. It is so much hotter. There's no fucking wind. We live in an oven.
My favorite part was the other day, actually, for this project, I went out looking for sticks. And I was like, oh, that's right. It's going to be hard to find sticks because there's no fucking trees.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere in the Midwest and find sticks in parking lots all day long because of all the damn trees around. But fucking out here, it's like, oh, I guess I get a twig from this bush. This succulent bush that's also barely surviving.
Yeah, this bush that's been trying to survive for like 10 years, and you're just like, I'm just gonna snip a piece of you off.
Yeah. Well, for this one, I actually got did like fallen sticks. I didn't trim any more off any trees. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Mainly because I just didn't like working with super fresh fucking sticks. That was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So you any other fun galleries you're gonna be applying to here?
No, but I just found something that was really cool last night. I found this there's this chick that's she's a painter, and she has like this automated Google Calendar that like automatically categorizes and like puts the things in your calendar, like puts the deadlines in your calendars for like tons of shows. And I cross-referenced that with the website that I currently use for to find gallery like calls for artists and stuff.
And it's
and
accurate?
None of them none of them were the same, which is good, because I was like, well, like my first suspicion was like, oh, she just came up with some like quick like, you know, API tool to just take all the information off this one website, which is a pretty popular website for this kind of stuff, and just compiled it into a Google Calendar. And I was like, well, if that's the case, I already like browse this website so much that this isn't going to really benefit me. But when I cross-referenced it and realized that literally none of the things were the same, I was like, dope. I basically just doubled my my opportunities. So I'm going to be spending some time here in the near future just kind of like browsing through that and trying to find some more shows to send some stuff to. But you know, since I don't have like a ton of paintings to send out, there's a little bit of waiting that I have to do for, you know, in between shows and whatnot.
Well, the last show you sent how many paintings?
2. And they're currently up right now in Missouri.
That's right. And you'll get them back when?
He's
like, hopefully never.
Yeah, true. Yeah, hopefully fucking never, man. I hope they don't come back. And I mean, well, if they don't come back, I'm going to be calling UPS to try and get a refund for my return shipping label. But yeah, hopefully if they do come back, it'll be like late June.
Okay.
Or like I think it's like the end of June. Right? Like the last few days of June, they'll be on their way back, and then I'll be able to start applying for shows with those paintings. But I can apply to other shows with the paintings I have currently.
Are the ones that are in Missouri the one like more of your favorite ones right now?
They are actually two of my favorite ones.
Mm.
Yeah, those two are my two favorites.
That's the type of shit I would ask someone like is it Rex Van Minen or whatever?
Yeah.
You're like, what's the painting you hate the most that like you were wildly surprised either sold or, you know, something like that? I'd love to know. I like have you ever heard interviews with like actors and they're like one of the most common questions they'll get is like, what was your favorite role? Like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite
Yeah.
role? Like what was the worst thing you had to deal with? You know?
Yeah. I agree. I like to ask the that same style of question, because there's always a lot more to the answer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can ask someone like, what was your favorite this and that, and they're like this because you know fucking blah blah blah. But it's
Right.
like, what was your least favorite? Which one did you hate the most? And they're like,
Yeah.
then you like, especially with artists,
Because there's going to
you
be
get
a
to go-
significant reason too.
dude, there's gonna be a big fucking reason, and a lot of it is gonna be very like emotionally connected to probably something that you felt before,
Yeah.
of like, you know, self-worth, like value of work that you're used to putting out, like all this stuff.
Doubting your skills or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. But still doing that sort of like showmanship kind of thing that us as artists do, where it's like, even if it's done and we're not like 100% proud of it, it's done.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's done. So fucking, I guess I just missed the mark a little bit on this one. So, you know, I'll
Yeah.
just fucking move on and try to learn from it and do better. But that still exists.
What, do I have to super glue you in place? I think I might. I might literally just fucking melt a bunch of fucking clay and stick you in so you stop falling out.
What is it? One of the logs?
Yeah, it's one of the logs that keeps popping out. So.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a
Well,
hoop.
dude, I'm gonna hop off here.
Cool, dude. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. You're welcome anytime, man.
Yeah, of course, dude. Good luck with the fire pit. It was good chatting with you.
Yeah, for sure. Have a good night. Let me know what you think of that movie if you end up watching it.
All right, we'll do. I'm actually about to do that right now. That's why I'm getting off.
Oh, okay. Cool, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
Peace. Oh, man, do I really not have any tongue depressors in here? How can I not have any tongue depressors in my studio? This is sad days, guys. Like, It went like this, right? Yeah, it went like that. Oh, I knew that was going to be a mistake. Let's hope I don't start an actual fire here. Yeah, you can smell that I burned some of the wood there. Yeah, the last fire pit mold we had, because I didn't go through and fill all these. I didn't fill all these, so there were a lot of undercuts that ended up getting like ripped away, and that's no bueno. No, you're gonna stay right where I put you, okay? Come on. So yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be able to start building out the weird, I don't know what I want to call it, like photo display for the Krampus pics. And depending on how quick that goes, I don't know how long it'll take, honestly. It might go really quick. I have a bunch of fake like pine tree parts and plant parts. I'm going to make like a demon themed, not a wreath, not quite a Christmas tree, but something in the middle that's going to display them. I want it to be kind of Christmassy, but you know, alt Christmas. Bow, bow. You guys will kind of see cramped mass. Yo, Chris, what's up? Yeah, basically something like that. Yeah. Even though, unfortunately, I did realize long after. I forget who brought it up, but that my Krampuses don't have any horns, so it's like alluding to Krampus action, right? Is this the last one? I think it is. This one we might need to touch up as the last, like, inside between the logs that we have to, like, go in and fill all the negative space. Krampus evolved. Yeah, minus the horns. Krampus evolved, exactly. And then one of these fire pits is going to become the stand for Steve, so I stopped dropping him. I did decide that. Steve deserves a stand where when he tips over, hopefully he won't tip over, his arm stops breaking. Bow, bow, bow. So when we mold it, we don't want, so we're going to make a silicone mold, right? And so when we pour the silicone in, we want the silicone to stay on the surface as much as possible. We don't want it to go inside and create what's called undercuts. I'm actually showing this. So this is the mold of the old fire pit. And technically, if I can if I put this down here, you can't see it because of these undercuts. Because as you can imagine, if there's too many undercuts, you won't be able to get the piece out. So you need to basically eliminate them. And what I'm doing is basically just going in and very finely, strategically filling in certain areas so that the silicone can't get inside. So I guess kind of for stability of the mold more than anything else. You got to think about what the negative's going to be, right? So but if you film in too obvious, like the final product won't look right. So you gotta kind of sculpt the negative spaces a little bit. I always tell people to go look at like Halloween masks when you're talking about undercuts, because Halloween masks are a great example of how to kind of fool depth without creating an undercut. A lot of times, like big scary monster Halloween masks, they'll have like the mouth open of like a vampire or a werewolf or something. And the teeth, you know, see if I can show this. Something I could draw would be awesome here. If you look at the profile of like a face or whatever, you know, say this is This is a mouth on the profile, right? The teeth of a big scary monster will be like this, right? Bam, big scary. But the piece has to get pulled out in like that direction, right? So you're pulling the mask out of the mold. So what you do is you cheat it so that from the front still looks like big scary teeth, but from the side, your first tooth would look something like this, where it actually curves back, but from the front it looks the same. And so that this point can clear that this area easier, especially on a latex mask. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, kind of. Silicone molds, generally, you don't have to worry about undercuts quite as much because they're flexible, right? That's the advantage of silicone molds. But you still want to reduce them for, especially if it's like something for production that you're wanting to do, where you're going to have to pour a lot of them. You just want to make your life easier. And undercuts, even though silicone molds are flexible, undercuts will still result in like faster destruction of a mold. Mainly because you're forcing the mold into positions it doesn't want to be in, so it can start tearing the silicone and yada yada. I remember in college, someone I knew was molding out of Ultracal, which is a plaster basically. It's also called stone. But that they were molding a baseball bat. They had an actual baseball bat. And they were making a mold of it. I think they were working on like creating like a prop foam bat, and they wanted the mold to be out of plaster. But when you mold something, the general rule is this, is that if the product you're molding, in this case, we kind of have a combination of things. We have hard stone, wood, and clay. The general rule of thumb, when you're sculpting something that's very rigid, like say a baseball bat, you want to use something like a silicone mold, right? Silicone molds, depending on what you're going to cast in them, don't have, they're not as friendly to certain types of materials. So if you want a stone mold, you have to make sure that when you make a 2-part mold of that baseball bat, that your seams are exactly in the center of the baseball bat shape, which is essentially, a circle. You want to make sure that your seam is at the widest point, because if your seam is up here, you'll get one side off easy, but you'll never get the baseball bat out of the stone. So, bam, bam. That's like an undercut. And it also does it's called a lock, is what it creates. It creates a lock. You don't want that either, because you can get undercuts in your molds too, if you're not careful. Just the wall of the mold or the seam. If you mess that up, it can lock the mold shut and you can't get it apart. More of a problem with multiple piece molds. Like this one's not going to be a multiple piece. This will be one piece, just like that one I just showed on camera a second ago. It's just going to be one open face mold. There's no back to it. There's no other part to it. What is the most pieced mold I've ever made? I want to say it was like 8 pieces. Somewhere between, is it 8? It's going to sound weird, but it's either 8 or 12. It's a lot of molds to make, or a lot of pieces to make for a mold. But I've seen some sculptors that do really big sculptures, like full-size humans, and they'll do like 30, 40-piece molds if the person is positioned in such a way that there's a ton of undercuts. Technically, the armsy could have been, instead of me cutting off all the limbs and molding them separately, we could have just molded the armsy as one final sculpt, but it would have probably been Yeah, like probably a 20 to 30 piece fiberglass mold. Matrix mold too, because there actually would have been silicone on the inside. I wish I had just started with bigger rocks sooner. It was a miscalculation on my part for sure. We'd already be done with this whole thing, but and on that first one, I didn't even try to use real sticks and wood. The only thing I used was real rocks, and I sculpted everything else, which is, you know, takes twice as long as it needs to be. Okay. I'm actually kind of liking the way this is looking. And the type of silicone we're going to use to make this mold, it is going to go everywhere. It's going to get in all the cracks because it's going to be a 12-hour cure time, which gives it all the time in the world to seep into every detail. It's a mold making silicone. It's really great. But if you have any holes or areas that the silicone can get into, it will. We'll probably even have to seal the wood to make sure it doesn't get too far into the grains. We want it to get the grain of the wood, but not any more than that. Okay. Oh. Let's fix this area here. I don't know if we actually, now I'm thinking about it, we might still use, I think it was dragon skin we made the last mold out of. We might still use that because the V340 is very firm. I don't know if I want to be fighting with that. Am I working from reference? I had a bunch of reference that I gathered for it from the game, because it's for the diorama of the Armsy, right? So, but I've also spent a lot of time around campfires, so spent many years chopping wood, so I kind of understand it. The only thing I'm going to end up doing a little bit differently is I'm probably going to sculpt some bark. I don't know for sure yet, but I want this piece and like right here, like so these two pieces to have like bark on them, a little bit more noticeable. So I might do that. May not be worth it because from my experience, the other fire pits, the flames are going to be mainly engulfing that area. But if I end up wanting to sell the fire pit to like model makers and collectors and stuff like that, they may not want the flames. They may want like a smoldering fire, at which point it would be nice to have it look nice without the flames on it. Pre-mold release and cast it. Yeah, that would be easier. Trust me. The amount of shit that I've been looking up about fires lately to understand how the flames actually work. That sounds weird to say, but sculpting flames, it's kind of fucking tricky, honestly. So, I was like, man, how do flames even work, man? Like, why do they do what they do? And I was looking up 3D scans to see if anyone had successfully like 3D scanned real flames. And I found that they hadn't quite done 3D scanning. They've used topography to do it, which I think is really interesting. But there are actual like 3D files of quote unquote scanned and then modified flames. So you can kind of see what like a fire looks like at a given moment. It's actually kind of fucking confusing. It's like hair, but backwards. Wait, what is? Oh, fire. Yeah, kind of, yeah. Even then, I don't know, man. I was going with these original cone shapes, you know? And I don't think I want to go with the cone shapes. I think the cone shapes make it look really cheesy. Want to do more of a broad fire. Another thing that's interesting is when I look up pictures of like campfires and bonfires, if you were to look at a fire like this and say, you know, this is like on a, say a scale or something, like this is 0 and the top of the flame is say 100, right? Usually the fire pit of any given picture you look at, the fire pit, including the logs and all that, take up about 60% of the space, the distance. So in this case, the flames of a normal fire, not one that I'm sculpting, would only be like here, maybe less, more like here. The flames don't come up that much higher past the wood, about 40% higher, right? But I want my flames to be way high. It's not very realistic, but it is interesting that almost doesn't matter the size of the fire, small fires, big fires, the flames themselves only end up like licking up about 40% higher than the actual build is itself. Random shit about fires. Now you guys, you can't unsee it, okay? You can't unsee it. Apparently, I also found out that if you lit a match in space, which you couldn't really do technically. I mean, well, you might not be able to do. I don't want to say on that for sure, but if you did, the match, like the classic thing is you light a match, right? And there would be like there's like a teardrop shape coming up from the match. That's what the flame makes, like a teardrop shape, right? Invert, so that's true, kind of, yeah. So like when you light up a match, the flame is kind of teardropped, right? Apparently in space, because of how gravity affects the shape of a flame, you would literally have like a perfect sphere of fire that would be coming off because gravity wouldn't be affecting it. It's just kind of interesting to imagine like a perfect ball of light emanating from a match. Again, there we go, guys. So we filled in all the space. The only thing I have to do on this before it's molded is, in the last one, I sprinkled little chunks of clay in and around the fire pit to make like debris, if you will, right? But I am going to have to, actually, I will do that right now. I will add clay around the base just to kind of expand it a little bit, texturize that, and then probably mold it. So it might get molded tomorrow. We'll see. It's kind of funny to actually think about sculpting like dirt. Kind of tricky to make it look, you know, okay. But a lot of it's going to be more in the paint job. You can get a lot away with quite a bit, just messing, having a really basic texture for like say dirt, and then really in the paint job hitting it up. But we do want to try and match whatever texture I'm going to be able to create with the foam in the diorama, right? So I might end up having to actually add dirt to the diorama to merge them. So if I can add all this now to be totally cool by tomorrow, and then I can just go in and texture it real quick. Unfortunately, I have the Armsy in the other part of the studio, so I can't show the fire pit in reference to him, but it's way better than the stupid last two fires I've built, scale-wise. It admittedly looks more like the fire from the second Forest game than it does the first one, but no, none of them are my, I don't have a Sigma wide angle. I have a Sigma 80, no, 72 or something, 75. No, sorry. I have a Sigma 80. I know I have another Sigma lens. No, this is my Sony 18 to, oh wow, it's 18 to 100. Chavant butter, yeah, exactly. Oh no, I do, dude. I have a super wide lens. It's not Sigma. I forget what one it is. I had it set up on my third camera, but I haven't had any really need for it. Technically, right now my third camera is my wide, this one here, and that's just my GoPro. But I do have my third other Sony, but I just haven't had it set up because I haven't really had much of a need for it. So. Right now, it's set at 35. So, I mean, it's not really wide. I mean, it's wide-ish. The thing that would make this camera all the better, or this lens all the better, is I would love to have it physically be closer. But I think it's like a 12-inch focus, so like it can't focus on anything that's within 12 inches of the front of the lens. Because I don't really need the camera to be that far away. I'm also not really the biggest fan of telephoto lenses. I'd much rather have a really nice gimbal system, but I'm not happy with anything I've seen. I want something like this that I have that you can counterbalance, which they kind of make, but it's called a jib arm, and it's huge. The space it takes up is insane. But imagine having a prime lens, and I could just touch this and vary with like no pressure, just move it around. That's really what I want. Almost like a steady cam table mount rig. It's 2470, and I cannot zoom closer. Yeah, 13. That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, I saw those pictures. That looked really cool. I want to build something similar to that, but I want to use ball bearings. I found a couple of stuff on a couple of things I want to buy, but it's just pricey, and I'm just not there to justify it yet. But it's these ball bearing rigs that can support up to 35 pounds. And they have like precision tightening. So theoretically, I don't know if it'll work because I'm battling physics here to some extent. But my idea would be that you would tighten them, you would balance them all with whatever camera was on the rig, right? And they can support quite a bit of weight, but you could have like 3 or 4 of them. Maybe 3 would be enough to just be able to move the camera around, but all on ball bearings, right? I still think I would need to figure out some way to counterbalance some stuff, but yeah. Steel piping, that is a good idea, though. Okay, guys. All right, well, we're going to be wrapping up the stream here. So, Milo, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Chris, of course, thanks for hanging out as well. Glitch, thank you. Funny Guy even was hanging out. I don't know if Willow's still here, but thank you. And, of course, Kyle for swinging in and chatting. It was great to chat with him. So, yeah, see you next time. Have a great evening, guys. And I'll be back tomorrow. If you're watching this now or in the future, hit like and subscribe. It'd be really awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.